What's up, traders? It's your girl Kaya Trades, and as you guys know, I trade the supply and demand strategy. With that strategy, you only use it when the market is either going up or down. And today, you guys, the markets were trending down and we were able to snag a trade in it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys and give you guys a trade recap. So let's go ahead and hit the charts and get into this video. First things first, I want to show you guys the trade that I took. Here is my Discord chat, and this is the sell that we took when the market was selling off, but y'all, NASDAQ sold off. So we're going to go ahead and look at that real quick on the actual charts. This was that giant sell off. Let's just see how many points this is because it was ridiculous. It was about 900 points. 900 points of a sell-off today. Crazy work. All right, but let's go ahead and start off from the jump. I typically check the news before the market opens. And the crazy part about today, guys, was the news was no news. Like, there was no news today of my awareness. Like, I looked. Today is June 25th. And do we see any? We saw 8:30 news, but there was no more red folder news for today. I guess FOMC later. I guess, but yeah, no, what market did this morning was kind of crazy. So let's go ahead and use bar replay. We're going to go back to this morning. And of course, you guys know I start on the 4-hour time frame. So just looking off rip at the market, I went ahead and wrote out all-time highs because I love writing out all-time highs just to kind of give me an idea of where we are. Boom, we had all-time highs here. I'm going to type that up for you guys. I'm going to make it red. All the way to the right here. Perfect. And then before market even opened, I just decided to write some 4-hour levels. We have this 4-hour level. Where was it? I think it was right here, actually. The first one was like right off in here. We're going to write them all out, so it doesn't really matter. And then we have this one way down here. And we have this one where price reacted to a couple of times. And we can go ahead and write that one too. Okay, so now we're already looking, and price, is still kind of overall bullish, but we could potentially bounce here and continue to make a bullish pattern, or we could have potentially broke below this low and started making a bearish pattern kind of to this next level over here. Okay. So once I decided, okay, we could go either way, I started looking at price. Price was getting a little bit weaker before shooting higher. And then we're going to drop down to the 1 hour so we can actually put on today's date. Today's date is the 25th. We're looking for, here we go, 9 a.m. We'll get to 9:30 in just a second. And just off rip, if I zoomed in just a little bit, we can see that price has been going down. Okay, we can see price was up here. We were going down. Boom, we had a minor break of structure to the upside, but we have this very strong level. Something I want you guys to really pay attention to, minus this, go ahead and just lock that in your brain, is this level right here. Price broke through this level nice and strong, right? Nice and strong, came down, created 2 different levels, hit 2 other levels, right? Now, this is the first time price is coming back to retest this zone, and I want you guys to see what the heck happened after that. We're going to go down to the 5-minute time frame. As we're going down here, we can tell that price is actually going up, and with my strategy, I like my 5-minute and my 1 hours to be in alignment. So we're going to write that out. Hopefully it's already there. Let's see. Yes, perfect. So our 1 hour is overall bearish. And let's see what our 5-minute is doing. We want our 5 minutes to be bearish. Right now, it looks like it's going up. So my initial idea was hopefully to look for some breaks of structure to the downside. And let's see how that plays out. I'm looking for this low to start being broken and for us to start making the stair step pattern to the downside. Kind of like this, right? That's just what I'm looking for. That's kind of my idea. And then we get to 9:30. And 9:30 drops. Cool, we break structure. So once we have broken structure, we're going to look for this supply zone to be created. Amazing. I like my 5 minutes orange. You guys know this. And we already have our 5-minute supply zone. I'm amazed at this right now. I'm ready for this beautiful structure to present. Let's go. I'm going to delete this. And all we're waiting now, after we've gotten our break of structure, we're waiting for a tap of our supply zone. Let's see when we get that. Okay, so we're starting to look more bearish. And price is just selling off. So you guys know from my previous videos, if you haven't watched them, go back and watch them about how I pivot when price is looking like this, giving consecutively the same color candle. All bearish candles, so I drop down to the 1 minute. And guys, the 1 minute supplied me with one supply zone right here and never tapped it. So we're just waiting. And y'all, price is still going. Price is just dropping. Sell off, okay? So now we finally come to an area where we could potentially start creating more supply zones. We finally get a pink candle at almost 950ish, almost 950ish on the 1 minute time frame. 5-minute time frame is still looking kind of bearish, but let's go ahead and wait for a supply zone. So I'm waiting for this candle to break. We're waiting for an engulfing candle to make this a new low. So we're just gonna wait. We clicked, boom, we got an engulfing candle right here. This is called our minor break of structure. So now that we know our 5-minute is bearish, we're going to type this in. I type this in for my students as well as for myself, just so I'm making sure I'm following my plan. Bearish, perfect. We have a minor break of structure around 950. Perfect. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to write out my supply zone. So now I have an opportunity for a supply zone. I do like that this candle kind of swept a little bit of liquidity here. This is just something that I like to put on just for my sake. My students, I don't necessarily think do this, but price swept this liquidity. So I'm looking for price to now break this structure if it can. It'd be ideal for it to break this structure for me, though I've already set my supply zone. I don't really mind if it does or does not because we've already had the engulfing candle, but it would give me more confidence in this setup if we can get a drop below it. Let's see what happens. We were able to get a candle closure below. So the only thing I'm waiting for after my minor break of structure is now the tap of the zone. So we're going to wait until price goes. Price is still leaving me, guys. I don't like it. There's a low down here, and I guess, but come on, bro. Okay, we're clicking through. Now we're starting to get some pink candles, which are my bullish candles. And you guys, the same exact thing happened. We get a break of structure to the downside. Now, mind you, we are on the 1 minute time frame, so this zone is not like the greatest thing on earth, but I didn't mind writing it out just because I'm already on the 1 minute time frame. We have the break of structure. I definitely updated my little corner box up here when this happened. We did get a break of structure. Boom. We're waiting for now the tap of the zone. We got a tap of the zone. The only thing I'm looking for now is a break of candle for my entry. If I don't get a break of the candle, then I'm not going to enter. Okay? I'm not going to enter. There's no point in me even trying. All right, so I'm waiting. We don't get a break of candle, so now I adjust this to wait till we get a break of candle. We have not closed above this supply zone, so I'm still ready, still available for it. Let's see what happens. Still none. And guys, as much as I wanted to adjust this, the market finally closed above my supply zone. So we're deleting it. It no longer matters to us. We are waiting for the next supply zone. And then I saw this liquidity resting kind of right here, more like a gap, waiting to be taken out by the market. So now I have, if you want to get a better visual of it, this is kind of like the gap of the area right off in here. That price has some orders that it needs to rebalance. So I'm feeling pretty confident in this trade. The only thing I have to do is wait for my candles to tap my zone. So I'm still waiting. We're getting closer and closer to the liquidity. We snatched the liquidity. Boom, we got a tap of the zone. So what am I doing? That candle printed a little early. I'm waiting for price to come break the candle entry. So let's write when we got the tap of the zone. At 10:08, we got the tap of the zone. Yes, at 10:08 a.m. So now I'm waiting for my break of candle for me to enter. Did it do that? No, it pushed higher. So I'm just going to make adjustments. I'm waiting now for the next candle to break this low. Here we go. Price went even higher. Okay, so I'm going to make my adjustments. This candle has not closed above my supply zone, so it's still valid for me. I'm waiting for price to break this low and tag me into the trade. All right, price is still moving a little bit higher, but guys, did it close above my zone? No, it did not. So I'm just going to keep making adjustments, and we are waiting for price to tap this low of the candle and break it so that I can get into the trade. I would place my stop right, my sell right here, my TP2 down here, my stop loss right here. Okay, and now we're just going to wait until it is time for us to break the candle. If it does, great. If it doesn't, we'll adjust. Let's see. Price then tagged me into this trade. Now there is nothing for me to do. My hands are off the mouse. I'm waiting for price. The only time I'll put my hand on the mouse is when price comes to my 1-to-1. Then I will move my stop loss. Okay, this is my first target. This is my first target. Here, we're also going to write when we broke the candle for the entry. We broke candle right around 10:12. So we're going to put this on our notes. Yes, at 10:12 a.m. we got a break of candle. Let's see if we can get the 1-to-1. Oh, next candle, if I was just patient enough, the next candle hit my 1-to-1. I'm moving my stop loss. I'm no longer risking anything on this trade. So now my hands are definitely off of my mouse. We're going to wait until the next candle. Boom. We're so close. The closer and closer and closer I get to my TP2, the more I'll begin to bring my stop loss up. I did not do it just yet. Let's wait and see. Okay, I'm glad I didn't move my stop loss too early, which I did not do. I definitely thought about it, but I want price to be kind of this close to the charts this close to my target before I begin to move my stop loss. So now that we've gotten a little bit closer to TP2, I'm going to go ahead and move my stop loss to the 1-to-1. Confirm it there. And I really thought price was going to stop me out at 1-to-1, but it didn't. And we were able to secure the 1-to-2. Okay, guys, this is exactly how I look to take my trades every single day I come to the charts. If you watch my videos, you can kind of tell they're pretty similar of how they are executed. And this almost went to TP3. Luckily, though, I was not greedy because it's not in my rules to try to catch TP3. TP3 has been less likely, in my opinion, to show up. So let's go ahead and test that theory. Yeah, if I would have wanted more, which I've done before, I would have gotten stopped out. I would have lost more money than I could have just taken out of my TP2, which again, I've done before. So I'm super proud of myself for following my rules. I'm super proud of you if you followed your rules today. And today is Thursday, but I'm gonna drop this video on Friday. So if you're watching this on a Friday, GG's, great game, great trade. We're going to come back next week, still focusing on being patient. Oh, I didn't even spell this right. And anybody tell me? It's okay. Let's see. Oh, it's already a T there. Oh, there we go. All right, we're coming back next week focusing on patience, discipline, and that will give us our freedom. We had a beautiful trade. It was a sell off, sell off, sell off. The trend on the 1 hour was overall bearish. The 5 minute came into alignment with that and was bearish as well. We had the break of candle. Really, we had a minor break of candle, but that's okay because it was with our trend at 950. We were able to wait for the market to come back, tap our zone, and then give us a break of candle entry for the 122. We also had something that helped me with a confirmation in this trade, which was the gap and the liquidity close to my zone. And that was really the end of the trade, guys. Once I finished my trade, I was ready to move on with my day. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys really learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I did get a question about the 1 to 2, so I'm just going to explain that really quickly. You're going to use it's over here too as well. You're going to use your short position tool, and typically it'll pop up as your 1 to 1. So if you're risking $100, you're going to be trying to make $100 with the 1 to 1. But let's say you want to hit a 1 to 2, you're going to be risking $100 to make $200. I'll type that up really quick. Boom. Negative. Oh. Hold on, shorty. Here we go. Okay, negative $100 to make $200. Okay, so let's say I wanted a 1 to 3. Typically I don't, but let's just say I do. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little smaller so it'll fit the screen. Okay, my 1 to 3 is here. So depending on what the stop loss and how many points it is, let's say I want to risk my $100 again. Negative $100. My 1 to 3 will make me try to get a reward of $300. So that's just a little bit of simple math in order to kind of give you guys an idea of what that looks like when you're using your risk to reward ratios. So whatever you're risking, if you're a beginner trader, you can start off with the 1 to 1, see how your trades are playing out. If you see over a consistent period of time that, hey, maybe the 1 to 2s are actually working, which is what I've done, which is why I trade 1 to 2s, then maybe we can start shooting for a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. And if you see further that it goes to TP3, you're a grown adult, try to aim for the 1 to 3, Trading is more of an adapting thing. You want to adapt to the markets, okay? Adapt to what is working and try to minimize and let go of things that are not working, okay? For me, the 1 to 2 works, so that's my little sweet spot, my bread and butter, and I love it. So again, shout out to you guys if you followed your rules. If you didn't, I'm on your butt. Lock in. We ain't got time for this, twin. We got to make some money this year, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.